Hey, Yvonne here, succession planning expert, executive coach, and the creator of Succession App. Today I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide to creating a CEO succession plan. CEO vacancies can be planned or unplanned. CEOs don't just leave at retirement. For example, you may have a younger CEO and you think, gosh, they're young, they'll be with us for a while, or they're newer to your organization and you're not really worried about them leaving. Well, something could happen. For example, they could get an opportunity somewhere else and have to leave. Their spouse or partner could get an opportunity, a career opportunity elsewhere, and they may want to leave. Also, your CEO could suddenly become disabled or die, and you would have an opening for a CEO role. Anything can happen. You need to have a CEO succession plan in place. So today, I want to provide you with 8 steps to creating a CEO succession plan. I'm going to give it to you one by one, tell you exactly what you need in your CEO succession plan. So first of all, you have to assess your organization. What I mean by that is I want you to take a look at your vision, your mission, your strategic goals. Look at things that are going to happen in the next 3 to 5 years. And what sort of CEO competencies or capabilities or experience would you need in the perfect CEO to handle those types of issues? So assess your organization. And I think it's important for the board and the CEO to be doing this together. Secondly, identify important CEO competencies. After assessing your organization, you should take a look at, okay, where do we want to be in 3 to 5 years? And what are the competencies that the CEO needs in order to get us there? And then people ask me, what are those competencies? What competencies are common for the CEO role? Well, it will vary depending upon the organization, but let me give you some examples. So examples of competencies would include strategic thinking, delegation, decision-making, relationship and communication, integrity. Those types of things are things that you would put down as competencies. They may be critical competencies. You could come up with some desirable competencies as well. Thirdly, you want to identify potential successors. So there are potentially some people within your organization who could be the CEO in the future or who want to have that desire to be a CEO. And so you would identify who those potential successors are. And then the fourth step is to rate those potential successors on each of those competencies that you picked in step 2. And you find out where their gaps are. And then step 5 is you create development plans for each of your potential successors. So you take a look at where their gaps are. Let's say that we have someone who really has a problem with decision making. He or she can't make a decision quickly, has to get all these facts together before they make a decision. Well, if you know anything about the CEO role, sometimes you have to make decisions fairly quickly. You don't have time to gather all the facts. And sometimes you do. But sometimes you have to make quicker decisions. And so a development plan may include something about having the person working on making better decisions, making quicker decisions, learning how to make those decisions in a way that is appropriate for the situation. Number 6, you want to develop an emergency succession plan. Some people think that emergency succession plans should be separate from the planned succession plan, but actually the emergency succession plan should be a part of your CEO succession plan. In determining who the potential successors would be in an emergency, you would have to take a look at maybe your potential successors or somebody else who's not a potential successor. In some cases, there are organizations that I know that have been very successful in using someone else to be the interim CEO in an emergency, and then the potential successors are there applying for the job, and so they have equal footing to apply for the position. But you can list as many potential emergency successors as you'd like to, but it's good to have at least one. Now, for smaller organizations, what we have done is sometimes they don't really have anyone who could be an interim CEO. And so what I always encourage smaller organizations to do is to say, is there someone who retired as the CEO of the organization who you could call in a pinch to be an interim CEO? Or is there another organization similar to yours that you can have their CEO checking in on your organization during this emergency or interim time frame? So it's important to have that emergency succession plan. Step 7 is to report to the board on an annual basis. Give them an update on your CEO succession plan. How is it going? Has anything changed in terms of who would be your emergency successor or successors? How are your potential successors doing in terms of their development plan? Step 8 is to review your plan annually. It's very important to take a look at it annually. Take a look at your emergency successors. Are they still the same people? Has anybody left the organization? Take a look at your potential successors. How are they doing in terms of the gaps that they have? Are there any changes that you should make in their development plan? Maybe they've done really well in a certain area and you want to try and have them work on a different area. So it's very important to do that. It's important to have a CEO succession plan. It doesn't matter if you have a CEO who's retiring, or a new CEO, or a young CEO, or an older CEO. It's important to have a CEO succession plan now. Want to see how ready your organization is for management turnover? You can take our 60-second quiz below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button below to get information on succession planning, what you need to know.